Resume by Emma Curtis Hopkins, the practice book for the 12 lessons in high mysticism. This is chapter 9, Ministry. This is Wednesday's midday study. Commit these Bible verses to memory. The 9th, a topaz. The topaz was in the breastplate and had the name of Simeon upon it. Thy words were found, and I did eat them, and thy word was unto me the joy and rejoicing of my heart. The joy of the Lord is your strength. The friend of the bridegroom, which standeth and heareth, rejoiceth greatly. He that is of a merry heart hath a continual feast. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. Ye shall eat of old fruit till the 9th year. Chapter 9, Ministry. The law of listening is the law of joy. The friend of the bridegroom, which standeth and heareth, rejoiceth greatly. The upward watcher gets his inner ear open to know how matters and things are progressing. Isaiah tells Hezekiah, "Thou shalt die." He is judging by the law of impetus downward. He does not see that Hezekiah has obeyed his prophet's injunction to lift up his eyes and behold who is the Creator. King Hezekiah had a strong moral vitality and could lift up his eyes out of the depths of pain and death and proclaim with all his heart that the upward watch was life, even though his eyes were failing. Isaiah did not have very cheerful views of his neighbors. This was the rock on which he split. The mystics have always failed in proportion as they have insisted on the wickedness and failings of their neighbors. Even Zechariah, who proclaimed that we must never imagine evil of or against anybody, was so under the spell of the prophets before him that he heard the voice of the howling of the wicked shepherds and not the chants of the forgiven. But even at the cross, Jesus saw the forgiven world. It is a matter of strong, fixed sight that gives the ideas that show in conduct and flash. If you forget a name, look steadily toward the person who bears it, and the name will come to you. If you do not get it promptly, it is evident that your vision does not stay fixed. The photographic plate has to be exposed to the object long enough to catch its impress distinctly, or the configuration is indistinct. Try again and look longer. Looking toward God on high, Moses caught laws just suited to people of his age. Looking toward God on high, Muhammad caught laws just suited to people of his age. Looking toward God on high, we can catch the law just suited to the person who seems to be unhappy. If we do not catch the law at first, we must look again. The words caught from above have always uplifting and healing potency in them. Thy word was unto me the joy and rejoicing of my heart. The description of the strong and beautiful self localizes the universal truth. This localizing is called healing. I will give you pastors that shall feed you with knowledge, said the Lord to Jeremiah, and all the people shall be new and glad. How can pastors feed with the joy of right if they have not themselves been fed? The Hindus have taught that we must animate the particular from the universal. The particular is the man or object. There is a root of strength and vitality about everybody and everything that the right speech with the right tonic in it would animate into astonishing virility. Even an apparently dead tree is reachable by one with this mystery of vitalizing tone in his secret speech. It is an unkillable quality resident at the roots of life, as the actinic ray that sweetens the grape is an unquenchable constituent of the sunshine. Joy must be quickened from somewhere. The scriptures declare that it is quickened from hearing vitalizing truth. Thy words were found, and I did eat them, and thy word was unto me the joy and rejoicing of my heart. This joy that comes of being in direct communication with the I Am is an increasable product. Gideon got such a new estimate of himself by coming into speaking relationship with the supernal original that he rose from being of no consequence among the Jews to bold leadership. Abraham talked with angels and transcended his neighbors. We speak to the soul, the Jesus Christ of man, and we are comrading with the supernal neighbor. We are keeping high company. God hath set us on high because we have first known his name. And at every turn we behold divinity manifesting as beauty, health, joy, the outward signs of the universal highest. Joy is the Leviathan power resident in man. Whoever can wake God joy in his neighbor brings forth the most powerful principle he covers. It is a secret charm which people covet and follow after and get comfort from. Haggai says that it is the real desire of all nations. He is told 3 times in the 9 months that the heavens shall shake and the desire of the nations shall come. It is symbol of the topaz stone. The true topaz is so valuable that it is worth $1 million. It signifies that the triumph of steadfast vision has come in the words which set nobility where wickedness had hitherto been visible, as Joseph's long vision and unvarying speech, under the direction of his father Jacob, finally transformed his murderous brethren into lovers, as Peter and John transformed the impotent man at the gate of the temple, called Beautiful. And in these days, certain people among us can transform cramps and deformity into beauty. Oft-time glancing to the heights brings back transforming words that stir the joy chords. For it is a joy to tell the words that transform pain into peace and disease into health. It awakens youth to feel the joy currents leap within us. It makes the hand magnetic to the angel, so that it pulls the angel of man's presence forward when we stretch forth the hand. Jesus touched the free spirit of the leper and the angel of the child of Nain. He said we ought to lay hands on the sick to make them recover. He means that we have come to the 9th stone of character, where the angel is tangible to us. The early Roman Catholics called the tangibility of the angels the real meaning of the number 9. Let us practice touching the invisible yet tangibly present angel of some sick person. Let us take Wednesday to stretch forth invisible bands and urge the angel to make himself manifest. This urge is our will. It is the man's will. It is God's will. This is the song of the topaz, the universal will to be well. There is a pulling power in the hand as we say to the angel of the presence, come forth. It is God's will. It is your will. It is my will that you be well and strong and glad. Come forth. Tell him your most joyous text. Repeat it over and over as a song is. I drew them with cords, with bands of love, and they knew not that I healed them. End of chapter 9. And so, this being Wednesday's midday study, it also correlates to the Wednesday's morning study, which was chapter 3 and the forgiveness, or the giving for. So, as we know, this is a ministry chapter, and whatever we did to ourselves in chapter 3, we're now going to do for somebody else. And this giving for is when we were injected with God's Spirit and we released all of our bad habits of thinking and viewing and seeing things as less than perfect. And when we gave all that up, we had something given in its place. And what was given was joy, peace, love, health, happiness, all the good things. So when we let go of the bad, then the good comes in and takes its place. So what we do now is, with ministry, we're going to apply this to someone else, and we're going to use our sense of joy to awaken health in other people. The energy associated with someone who's very joyful, it arouses the God spirit in the other person. So Emma also talks about laying hands on the people and being able to touch their God person, their God spark. So when you lay your hands on someone, you're not touching their physical body, you're actually touching their spirit. And when you touch them and you recognize that they're pure spirit, then something is responsive in them. That spirit in them is responsive to that. And so you are going to be full of joy, which is infectious, to bring out the spirit of some sick person or some neighbor or someone who might appear to be less than perfect. But we know already that they are perfect. And also, it's important to note here that there's a universal will to be well. Everybody wants to be well. Everybody. No matter what they say, no matter how much they cling to their problems or their dramas or their sickness. I know, you know, God knows that they want to be well. So it's our job to acknowledge that there's a universal will to be well, and we are to touch the God spirit of them. Even if we can't physically lay hands on them, we're still drawing out that God spirit in them by recognition. And so we continue our journey.